My name is Samantha Burdett, and I am in charge of the retail space at Lowell Makes. The retail space is where our members are able to display what they've made at Lowell Makes. We also use it as a demonstration place to show what classes we have to offer. We have our pottery studio, which shows artwork and pottery from multiple members. We have our indigo shibori scarves that are a class that one of our members offers. We have woodworking here, both bowl turning and hand carving, wooden furniture, and then also things that are laser cut. So you have spoons and different home instruments that are laser cut and etched to customize. I found Lowell Makes after I moved to Massachusetts from out of state. I had been here about a month and hadn't known anywhere, and found the website and said, oh, there's an open house on Wednesday. Came by and basically found my new home. I've always had an interest in arts and crafts, and since then have expanded that to be working more with machinery. I do wood turning. My next goal is to start pottery, and I also make jewelry and small hand knit and crocheted items. So if you come by for an open house on Wednesday, we have members who volunteer their time to come by and teach you and show you what we have. Everything that's been done here has been done by our 100% volunteer membership. You don't always need to have a plan or design in mind when you come here, but if you have just the spark of an idea, we can help you build it into more. Someone came here wanting to know about Raspberry Pi, and then within the course of about a month, made his own Raspberry Pi laptop, which he laser cut out of wood after 3D modeling it and learning how to 3D model. He's now working on how to code it and use it to power different systems, as well as use it as an emulator for different video games. One of the next projects we're working on that we might go in as a community to do is a smart mirror, and it uses a Raspberry Pi and a computer screen, and basically mirrors the two. So you walk up to the mirror in the morning and it'll wake up and say, "Hello, Sam," and give you the weather or any items you have for the day.
So at Lowell Makes, we have a full-size knee mill, which is, best way to describe it is three-dimensionally milling. So when you need to remove material in X, Y, and Z axis, you use the knee mill that's there. Or we have a 10-inch heavy, I think it's a heavy 10 self-bend lathe, which is used for turning pots. So generally when you make cylindrical pots, the pot itself that you want to make is spinning, and then the tooling comes in and it will make round objects of different steps and diameters. You can use threading for it, which I use these machines to make a lot of different things around my house. Like instead of buying new things, I'll just repair, make new pots for things like gears, end caps, random things. Like you can make almost anything with a mill and a lathe if you just understand geometry and math. The way I machine it, there's actually a pot that gets chopped inside and will rattle around. And I forget the exact term for it, but when you look at it, you have to kind of, it's like a thing, I'm trying to think of the word for it. When you look at the pot, you're not sure how the object in the center is actually in there because there's no physical way to put it inside. It's because I make it there. So I make like little toys and gifts like that. Basically almost any type of metal we can cut if you have the right type of cutters. Like I can deal with stuff from soft materials like aluminum, stainless, steel, iron, brass. Like right now I'm working on a piece of brass, all the way up to like exotic metals like titanium and gallium and weird things like that. So I work for a company and I'm a machinist, and then I also have my company on the side that I use. Since I'm starting up, I don't have enough money for to rent space. I don't have enough money to buy machines because like a knee mill is, you're looking at 12 grand for a knee mill just for the machine alone. Then you're looking at thousands more dollars just for the tooling needed to do it. So one thing that Lowell Makes allows me to do is start my company out of here versus having to have all this overhead that I'd have to get loans and take up a lot of debt. So that's one thing that's great about Lowell Makes is if you want to start a company, you can come here, use these tools, and just pay a small fee every month.
My name is Craig Kaminsky. I've been at Lowell Makes for over a year now, and I do the 3D printers and the laser cutter, which is over there. So it's digital fabrication is what I like to do. And I've been a member here for a while, and I want to learn how to use everything here. I want to learn how to use all the tools. And a year ago, a friend and myself started a club at UMass Lowell, which is where we went, and we've been using these which are 3D printed plastic hands. So this is all 3D printed plastic that is individual parts that we assembled together, the different colors or different pieces. And these are a low-cost alternative to prosthetics for children. And this one has a big handle in it for people to use, so I can stick my own hand in here. But they're used by moving the wrist, and it makes the hand close. And I have another one right here that when you move your elbow, my arm's too big for this one, but your elbow is what bends and gets this hand to close. So these two were printed here at Lowell Makes and assembled by me. And we've been doing that for a while. I did not design them, they're all open source stuff. So most of the things that are printed on the 3D printer are stuff that we find online. They're all this stuff like on on Thingiverse is a website. So things on Thingiverse are all open source object files that we can find and we can print them. And also people will design their own things in computer automated design, computer aided design, CAD. In computer aided design software, people will make their own stuff and they'll get a chance to print it here, which most people don't have access to 3D printers, so that's a pretty big deal. And also with the laser cutter, people will also make their own things in the laser cutter. Once again, you can find things online and use the laser cutter just like a printer, and you can actually make images that are etched with the laser. And people will make all kinds of stuff. I don't have any examples. You can probably get a shot of the 3D printed stuff. But I found this place because I work for a woman named Martha Cohn, who is she's the curriculum developer for Lowell Public Schools for science. And so she has a science, she has the Idea Camp, which is a science summer school. It's not summer school, that's wrong. What is it called? It is a summer camp. So this woman, Martha Cohn, runs Idea Camp, which is a summer camp that runs for 3 weeks every year. It's been going on for years now. And we're doing Lego robots here. And that's how I found out about this place 3 years ago. This is where they're doing the Lego robots. This is the first time I was ever in here. And this place is completely different from 3 years ago. I'd say every year, if you come down here, this place just like everything's moved around. You get new stuff, the stuff gets moved around. This place is so different. Every few months, stuff gets shifted around. And it was very different from when I first saw this place 3 years ago to when I started becoming a member, and even between me being a member a year ago and today, it's very different. There's a really good sense of community at Lowell Makes. Like you can just kind of walk over and just kind of look over someone's shoulder and ask them what they're doing, and everyone's pretty friendly and they'll just tell you, this is what I'm doing. And if you want to learn a new skill, most people, as long as they're not super busy, like most people will go, sure, yeah, let me show you what I'm doing, and they want to teach you. A lot of people here, they're very excited about the thing that they're doing, and even though there's so many other things here, they want you to learn, their skill, their trade, whatever machine that they like to use. They want to teach you about it, and you can just kind of like walk over to someone and go, can you teach me, what you're doing? Like if someone asked me to use a 3D printer, I'd say, go ahead, what do you want to print? And like I'll show them whatever I can about how to use it. And that same goes for everything in the wood shop. Most of the guys, if you just said, I want to make a thing, like I want to make a chair, I want to make a table, I want to make whatever, how do I do it? And they'll say, here's a bunch of materials, here's some wood over in the corner, you can use this, or I'll tell you what kind of wood to use, or these are all the machines, and they'll just tell you what you need to do and step by step, and everyone is just like a wealth of resources. And just the type of people that come here, because they're all makers, they'll all tell you how to make, the things that they make. And there's people who come here and they've been members for a while and they still don't know what most of this stuff does. So like people are always here and learning about new materials and new tools to use, and it's pretty awesome.
Lowell Makes builds off the heritage of Lowell of manufacturing, but on a smaller scale, more of a mass customization than a mass manufacturing. We keep people current with job skills. We give them the opportunity and ability to be entrepreneurs, to follow their passions, whether it's woodworking or metalworking, machining, electronics, robotics. You can come in and really have a space that you can make these things happen. A lot of people in Lowell don't have the resources to have a full-blown wood shop in their basement. So we see ourselves as the provider of group resources for the community. Right away, we realized the demographics in Lowell. When we were coming up with a price structure for our membership, it was averaging for other maker spaces, whether it be Make It Labs in Nashua or Artisans Asylum in Somerville. Their basic membership started about $100 a month. We made a conscious effort, and all our math was then driven to make it more affordable for the residents of Lowell. We have less square footage than a lot of these spaces, but we're also in a more dense urban environment than those other two places I mentioned. And the population that we're looking at just couldn't support that sort of membership. I've seen people come down maybe 3 or 4 times and just hang out, talk to people, chat. We're not really heavy hitters on the recruitment front. We run more on a duocracy. The more you come down and do, the more of a say you have in the governance of the space, whether it be on the space committee that dictates what shops go where and how much square footage we need for each activity, to the board of directors where we handle the financials and outreach and sustainability of the organization itself. The motto at one time was learn, make, do, or anybody can learn, anybody can make, anybody can teach. So we try to keep an open mind of what our population is going to be. So our outreach is based on the potential of people that haven't even walked through the door yet. So we always try to philosophically embrace that the future of Lowell Makes is more people coming in, because there's a certain level of attrition. Members come, members go. They join for a while, they get a job elsewhere, they move along. So we always have to, keep pulling people in. And the best way to do that is to get them to push themselves in. Yeah, the vision is it's manufactured on a decentralized, manufacturing crafts on a decentralized level. We support the independence of all our makers, but we also recognize that they will want to group and have a shared vision for the space, and that's where the making of the makerspace things come into play. One of our first events at Lowell Makes was a 24-hour or 48-hour hackathon. People came in with an idea, even if they weren't members. If they were going to use the wood shop, they'd have to pre-register, so we'd have to go through the safety training. But they would come with an idea and manufacture it on Lowell Makes premises, and then we would judge it with a panel of local judges. We've had people from the city, from the university to sit on that panel. Our first year winners created our lock system, which is an RFID device that you wave in front of a sensor that's tied to a Raspberry Pi, checks our database, and this was all, the basics of this was all written in 24 hours, and it was functional to do that, and now it's our stalwart. It became part of our process. And one of the members started his own business, Key for All, which was a play on E for All, which was the program we all went through when we formed Lowell Makes, and another member became a board member. It's not all an academic or intellectual exercise. It has real-world ramifications and resonance. So yeah, this key system, which just was a neat idea, now has become part of our operations, and we spent a bunch of resources. Every room in Lowell Makes, you could sign out the conference room, for instance, and you will have access to unlock that door between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on a certain day that you've reserved it. So.
People come here for all different kinds of reasons. A lot of folks are engineers who are in front of terminals all day. And the engineers particularly seem to like to do things with their hands. And it gives them a different way of dealing with materials. Software engineers who obviously don't deal with anything but code all day. I was an IT manager, and before that I was a psychologist for 30 years. And so I came to this pretty much retired, not having done much wood stuff for really 25 years or so. We have a lot of folks who are in their late 50s, 60s, and we have a lot of young folks who are in their 20s and up to their mid-30s, late 30s. And in the middle, people are focused a lot on family kinds of issues and on career kinds of issues, and they don't get a chance to have the kind of time that they need to be spending reasonable amounts here. We're a very low-cost shop, and that counts really a lot for a lot of people. Any other space like this would cost 5 or 6 times as much at least. And that's a big deal for folks on a fixed income, like the elderly, and for folks who are just starting their careers, because they don't have a lot of disposable income. Okay, we do, you know, I said before, we do all size projects. I do round things. I do things like round musical instruments, bowls, baseball bats, cups, little round boxes. Most people do squarish things. One woman made this, is in the midst of making this absolutely sensational bureau that's probably outside. We did an 8-foot solar charger for the folk festival, which has regularly appeared for the last 3 folk festivals. And people can come, it's out on the street, people can come and plug their phones in and charge their phones. I thought it would be a total bust. People line up. I'm very bad at predicting how successful any of this stuff is going to be. So there's the cooperative aspect of that. We built the tool crib outside. We've done sort of work for helping other members do structural things. We're trying to do more combination wood-metal things. There's all these sorts of, it opens up projects when you can do stuff like laser cutting. It's an enormous help in different kinds of woodwork. And some people are doing this very ornate kind of little boxes that have all sorts of spiffy patterns cut in them. So it's nice to be around people who have all different skills. That's a real virtue.
Hi, my name is Chelsea. I am a member of Lowell Makes. I've been a member here for about 9 months. The main attribute to Lowell Makes that works for me is the pottery studio. There's 5 pottery wheels. We have a hand building space. We have multiple glazes. I went to college for fine arts and I really needed a space to work after I graduated. And to rent spaces or to be able to have all the materials you need are really expensive. And it's really great that Lowell Makes offers such a reasonable monthly cost, and I'm able to work on my art and continue to grow. I'm also the shop captain of this area, and what I've done is we've built a handful of workshops in different classes, so other people that are curious about learning about clay, whether it's just a one-time visit or whether they want to come for an 8-week-long session or whether they want to become a member and really produce pottery and do what they want. We have workshops that kind of cater every need. We run classes from 1 person to 5 people. People do workshops where they kind of bring their friends. We do events on Friday nights where you can kind of do wheel samplers. You can take a class and then you can come in the next day and kind of glaze your stuff, and then your pieces are ready to pick up a few weeks later. Or you can become a member, and what you would do is you get a shelf over there and you don't have to worry about purchasing clay or glaze because all of that stuff is provided here for you. And then what you do is you get your own shelf space, and we have all the tools that you would need to begin your process. And then all of your pieces are fired and handled for you, so they're all done. I feel like you're treated like a real craftsman when you come here. A lot of studios, you're required to take a class just to kind of have a membership, just so you're able to come somewhere. You have to take a class, and those are hundreds of dollars for just like multiple weeks. And if you have been working with a medium for that long, you don't need that. You know, you just need a place to work and a place to produce, and like that's what Lowell Makes is. You know, like we do offer classes and we offer workshops and we offer things for the people that want to learn, but if you know how to make that, if you already know how to make everything, then this is a place for you to work, and that's really rare, especially with pottery. It's really nice working with other people and building ideas off of each other. Craig upstairs has a rock collection that he likes to look at under the microscope, and he had a piece of coral, and I was like, hey, can I steal this? And I stole his coral, and I was able to make all these really cool patterns in the clay, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had a studio that was by myself. And I hope that we can grow our pottery and ceramic community, because there's a lot of people that know a lot more than I do. And I would love to learn, but I also know a lot, and I would love to teach people everything that I know. But just people experiment with different things, and people vibe off of different things, and that's how you grow, by growing with people like that. So
hi, my name's Castro. I'm a member here at Lowell Makes. I run my business out of here, GiveWave Studios. I work full-time making costumes, props, and accessories for con goers and Halloween fans and aficionados, people who like doing costumes all the time. Right now we are in the costuming department. There are plenty of open space tables, there's sewing machines, there are riveting machines, all sorts of specialized tools and equipment that you need to do cosplay work or costuming work for that matter. I am, for Lowell Makes, am the shop captain for the cosplay department or costuming department. I'm also the captain for the rapid prototyping department, laser cutting and 3D printing. I'm also on the space committee. We are a group of 3 to 4 people that decide what goes where and who gets allotted what. And also, I am the space's ombudsman, so I am the peacekeeper of the makerspace as well. So what is cosplay? So cosplay is really just a combination of the words costume and play. It started a while back, actually in Japan. It was very popular, and it transferred over here to the United States with sci-fi conventions, people dressing up as their favorite characters, going to these shows to meet their idols, and it's exploded into its own culture and movement now, and it's a very popular thing. You're almost in the minority now if you go to a convention and you're not wearing a costume to represent some type of fandom. It's amazing to be able to come in with a concept, have like this great community of people who are so diverse in their backgrounds. You have electrical engineers and people who do robotics, and folks like myself who are more artistic, other people who do woodworking, and it's amazing the knowledge transfer that goes on in this space to be able to take the techniques that someone uses, for example, in woodworking, maybe transfer that over to crafting and foam carving, and be able to produce something that's really amazing that you would have never have thought to make, really, without having met those types of people and having that type of exchange of information. As a member, coming here, working on just, projects on the side, you can potentially make money off of those too by putting those things up for sale in the retail space upstairs. There's so many tools available that are not available to us here. They're not available anywhere else, really. Specialized tools, obviously a lot of them you need training for, but once you pass training for certain departments, you basically have free range over the whole space, and you can create anything from, I've seen things come out of here like dining tables, a full set of chairs, like portable wearable armor, robots that move and know how to map a space and navigate their way around it. People have done really interesting craft projects. There's so many possibilities with all that's available here at the Makerspace. You really can pretty much do anything.
Yeah, I'm James Saunders. I'm a mechanical engineer. I work in Chelmsford, and I live here in Lowell, and I'm the president of Lowell Makes. The way I understand it, there was a makerspace in Lowell a few years before Lowell Makes. They eventually outgrew their space and moved to Nashua. They're a great place. We're friends with them. They're called Make It Labs. But the group that started Lowell Makes came out of a leadership institute, and they pitched the idea as a kind of a group project and gauged community interest here at LTC. I remember going to one of the meetings, one of the presentations on that, just to see if people in the area would be interested in a place that had 3D printers and woodworking tools and a collection of other things, and I certainly was interested in that. I had just moved to Lowell at the time. So the larger maker movement, which is gaining steam nationally right now, is really about providing a means for people to explore their own creativity. Rather than just going out and purchasing things or consuming things, they get the opportunity to build and make and modify and remix, all different ways to explore how they want to bring their own ideas into fruition. There are a few different revenue streams for Lowell Makes, the largest of which is our membership. So for $49 a month, you become a basic member. You're given a key with 24/7 access to the vast majority of the tools. And beyond that, we also teach, we provide classes and workshops. We do a profit share with any instructors who wish to teach a skill. And we also do rent some studio space for creatives who are looking for kind of a place to base their work out of. So Lowell Makes in the past year has grown considerably, about 20 new members. We're looking to continue that growth in the coming year. More members means more creativity, more ideas, more technical knowledge. There's a huge social aspect to becoming a member of Lowell Makes, and as we've grown, we've seen these groups centered around certain ideas that start to populate the space in ways that we wouldn't have envisioned it. For the most part, it's a pretty organic structure. We don't plan anything from the top down. We're reacting to what the new members or what our existing members want the space to be. We run robotics programs for kids. We do pottery, hand building classes for kids. So there's usually something for everybody. We have families come in for birthday parties and all sorts of fun activities.